Man, it's crazy, man. Like the way that they've been doing like us backs and saying like, you can get any back, find them in a fourth, fifth, sixth round, and the way they devalue the running backs, it's just crazy. So for to have Saquon to come and get those 2,000 yards and literally be having an MVP type season. I don't feel like the Eagles will be what they are without Saquon. And it just shows you like how valuable the running back is to this game. And hopefully that will be a step to helping us get it back to where it needs to be. Like you just look at things, you see receivers making what $35 million a year. Like, and you mean to tell me the running back? I feel like running backs should be in that area too. Like,
101 yards away, one game to go. I
right?
guess first of all, uh, if you're Saquon, do you want to play? Is that important, or is it more important to be healthy and going into the playoffs?
Oh man, looking at it both ways. Me while I was in it, like while I was playing the game, I could see myself saying like, yes, more important trying to get to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, yes, but like me being retired and me looking back on things and seeing how things is now, it's like, yeah, just as a player, like that is something that don't be done. Like, yeah, I think he should go in there and play and get those yards. And once he get those yards, he can get out the game or whatever. But for him to be able to go, and I know he get one extra game, but for him to have the chance to be able to break that record, I say why not go ahead and get it.
If he does get it, and you just mentioned it, some people will say, I'm sure Eric Dickerson will say he had that extra game. In your mind, what does that change the record at all? Because you have more yards than he has through 16 games.
Um, I wouldn't say because I still got the overall record of 2,500 that hadn't been touched, but I know one day it's gonna happen. Um, know what I'm saying? That's another thing. I can't say, oh, he got one extra game because of this. Because if we all look at it, OJ ran for 2,000 yards in 14 games. Imagine what he would have did with two extra games. So at the end of the day, I can't sit there and be like, oh, you got one extra game because 16 games, 17 games, you're up for 2,000 yards or whatever it's going to be. Like, that's a lot of yards. So I definitely can't take nothing away from him. I told him as soon as he did, I told him congratulations on being in the 2,000 club, welcome to the club, and all those type of things. So
How impressive, looking back at 2009 for you, the scrimmage yards that he's nowhere close to your mark that year. He would need,
where he at right now? How
he's
much
at
he get?
2283. So he needs over 200, like 20 total yards to pass yours. The
Yeah.
101 running is more likely, but it shows how impressive your 2009 season was.
Right. Yeah, that was just like it's amazing to be able to hold that record for such a long time. And I know one day it may get broke one day, but we'll see. But I know once it comes to that point and once it happened, like it is what it is, no matter 16 games or 17 games or whatever it's gonna be.
If he breaks it though, you'll consider him that he's the single season rushing leader. It's not his fault. He didn't change the rules.
Right. Yeah, if he break it next week, for sure, he's the leader. Like, there's no way about it. Like, he's the leader. Like, I know I've seen some stuff or whatever. Like, ED came out and was saying like he didn't want him to break it, or whatever and stuff like that. But I just feel like that's just kind of that's just ED. That's ED being ED. I remember my year when I was going for the 2,000 yards and I had a shot to break the record in the game before the last game, before I was going to the last game, and somebody asked ED the same thing. What do you feel about if me breaking the record or whatever it is? And ED responds like he didn't even know who I was. So he haven't even paid attention all year, or he didn't know who I was basically. So that's just ED being ED.
It's been a while since a running back won MVP. Adrian in 2012. You could make the case it could be Saquon for a while this season. It looked like Derrick Henry was in the mix. Do you think Saquon should get consideration for that award?
I definitely think he do, like the type of season that he's having and the yards that he putting up and things like that. Like for sure, like I'd be a hypocrite if I say not, because like the year that I had, I really believe that I should have won the MVP. Um, they didn't give it to me, and still to this day, like even if you look at when you go back to the year Adrian Peterson won it, my numbers was better than Adrian Peterson numbers. But at the end of the day, he won it that year. I think they gave it to Peyton my year or whatever like that. But I definitely think the award, I think Saquon should be up for it. And like, I just feel like the way that they do the MVP award, I feel like they should do a separate quarterback award and then make the MVP like a real MVP award. Like it don't matter quarterback, running back, receiver. Like everybody should have that fair shake and that fair shot at winning the MVP is amazing, man. Just to see the type of players they're becoming, um, their hard work and dedication. It's just amazing for me to like, I train them. Um, just to see like the process of it. Know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times, like people see players and stuff, and they see the final product, and like, but it's just amazing to see the whole process from where they started to where they're at now, and the more they continue to, to grow, and get better and better year in year out, it's just amazing.
If people aren't aware, how old are they, and are they following dad's footsteps? Are they running backs? What positions are they playing?
Well, they're in sixth grade right now. They're 12 years old. They play. I do one thing with them that a coach of mine, my high school coach named Mike Cullis, he always tried to get me to train and perform as an athlete instead of just a running back. And I was so hard headed. But back then, that's what the game was. Running backs was the guys. You know what I'm saying? But he always tried to get me to train and perform as an athlete, not just a running back. And I never did it. So with them, I made them their athletes. So they play running back, receiver, cornerback. Like they play it all. Kick return, punt return, they do it all. So the more you can do, the better you're gonna be as a player.
Do you watch like to see, Coach Prime, what he's doing with his boys, and now two of them are going to be, in the NFL real soon? That who knows? They're still young, but 10 years from now, you could be looking at a situation like that. Could you ever imagine?
Yeah, man, I definitely pay close attention to Coach Prime and a lot of other guys who are doing it now. You got Joey Porter, his son in there. You got Ike Taylor, his son just went to Alabama. Um, you got a lot of like you starting to see. I don't know if it's a new trend or whatever it is. Like you starting to see a lot of guys who played in the NFL. Now you're seeing their kids are either going to college or going to the NFL and stuff now. And it only makes sense. Like for us guys that have been to the top level, obviously we know the formula. So the genes, it's already in our genes, it's in their bloodline. So if we just lay out them the formula and they just stick with it and continue to work hard, they're gonna be good players. Why would a GM pass up on a guy that knows it's in his bloodline, know the formula, and he's making plays? I don't see GMs passing up on those guys.